What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Some commentary for you. Topic gets brought up to me all the time. Can you have too much of a simulation franchise mode? I'm going to go through just the past couple days of true-to-life NFL stories and ask yourself, is this something you want in Madden? Is this something you would want to deal with as a franchise owner or as a coach? Start with Ezekiel Elliott. Here's a guy, has some legal issues. You don't know at the beginning of the season whether he's going to play. You go out, you get a free agent, you draft a running back, whatever the case may be. And then every week you're concerned that he's not going to be there, but then you find out he is. There's a last-second injunction. He gets 6 more games. He gets 2 more games. How would you feel about that constant back and forth of not knowing whether it was your star player or not is going to be available? Talk about a player like Pierre Garçon. For the 49ers, he's the number 1 receiver, a possession receiver, an important cog in their unit on a team that's really not all that great. He actually has contact with personnel on the Eagles sideline, damages his neck, and he's placed on IR. Well, let's talk about an injury like Andrew Luck, placed on IR. What if you had a medical staff that wasn't upfront or forthright with you about how your player was progressing? You continually thought he was going to be ready in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, back before the end of the season, and then you finally get to the point where you've had to go trade for someone else, and you decide, you know what, I'm done messing with it, I'm just going to shut him down. How about those freak injuries? Sam Martin, punter. A lot of teams don't carry 2 punters, 2 kickers, 2 special teamers. What if your punter got injured on vacation and you get a pop-up right as you go into preseason that your punter's not going to be available for 6 weeks and you have to find a workaround? What if you had a player go down to the middle of the game and you had to take a player like Eric Reed and move him to linebacker because your safety broke his arm? Now, linebackers and safeties are kind of interchangeable at times because a lot of times in high school or college, those safeties have played linebackers. Cato June is a prime example if you remember back to the Colts, so it's not all that uncommon, but it's not something we see a lot in Madden. And then obviously, let's talk about the big one. You're going through your season, you've already had some tough luck. You've lost your best defensive player, maybe one of the best players in the league, period, in J.J. Watt. You're leading your division. You've got your quarterback that's a shoo-in for Rookie of the Year, probably would have went to the Pro Bowl, and then you get a pop-up halfway through the week. Oh, in practice, your quarterback went down. We'll let you know tomorrow how bad it is. You sim through to the next day, and you see this. Torn ACL. Now what? Is that the game, in some people's opinions, cheating you? Because you lost your best offensive player, you lost your best defensive player in the same year. I mean, we go back to that validation of Madden. How and why do people validate what happens in Madden? Can't you always go back and find that one-off exception of a time something happened? But to me, these are all real things. These are things that really happen. And if done properly and if done uniformly, I think would really offer depth and strategy to a game. Now, the underlying thing here also is that you have to have a game that it matters. And in my opinion, you could have whatever you wanted happen to a Madden player until the players actually show some independent characteristics and play differently or act differently or make you want to play as the Texans because they've got J.J. Watt, because they've got Deshaun Watson. Then we're never going to be there. That's step number 1. This, to me, is steps way in the future. But I do know there's some other gaming companies out there that are working hard on their franchise mode, and they don't have the same restrictions that other games have. And they're probably going to look at this comment section and ask themselves, is this something people really want? So they want to know. I want to know. Does it really matter? Would you want things like this incorporated in the game? To me, absolutely. I want it to matter, though. I wouldn't have any problems with any of these things. I would love the capability of being told my player was coming back, and then ultimately not have him come back and say, you know what, I'm done. I'll deal with him next year because I'm halfway through my season. I think that would have an element of realism, simulation, of course, but also kind of excitement. Rebuild that team in the middle of a year because you have something happen and try to overcome it and still go to a championship game or still salvage a season or watch your attendance drop or watch your fan support fall. Those are all things that we actually play the game for. Things that are missing from the game right now, in my opinion. Love to know your thoughts on this. Appreciate you checking out, and I'll be back in the week with more content.